All right. So, Amy, could I ask you to repeat your implication for the recording, please?
Yes. I mean, actually, it's always better to hear a poem twice, so I'm happy to do that. This invocation comes from Mary Oliver's poem, Praying. It doesn't have to be the blue iris. It could be weeds in a vacant lot or a few small stones. Just pay attention. Then patch a few words together and don't try to make them elaborate. This isn't a contest, but the doorway into thanks and a silence in which another voice may speak.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any guests? We have Brian Papalia, who is our speaker and is the partnership manager at the Chautauqua County Humane Society. And I see he has one of his partners with him right now.
Yep.
And Kelly Roberts, I believe, who is the executive director, who's also going to jump in. We're very happy to have you. Any other guests or visiting Rotarians? I don't see any. Robert Anderson, Bob Anderson's with us. Fantastic. Going to be a new member next week.
Hey.
So let's repeat. Yeah. What? Let's repeat the four-way test. Of all the things we think, say, or do, number one, is it the truth?
The truth.
Is it the truth?
Is it the truth?
Number two, is it fair to all concerned?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Number three, will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Will it
Build
build
goodwill and better
Better
friendship.
And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Will it be
Will it be beneficial
beneficial
to all concerned?
Those are good guidelines. How about announcements? I'd like to thank Eric Harvey, who is our Rotarily Yours recorder today. Committee, yeah, Sue. Committee chair announcements. Anybody want to announce anything?
John Healy here for the Red Kettle. We have 4 openings left for signing up to ring the bells for the Red Kettle on 12/14, 5 and 6, and 6 to 7, and on 12/17 from 6 to 7 and 7 to 8. And we've also set up a online link if you prefer to donate online. So that's where
All
we're at with
right.
Red Kettle.
Good job.
Thank you so much. So that's on our website, the link, if you'd like to donate directly to the Salvation Army. Literacy Committee, would you like to give an update on how the libraries are working at the laundromats?
Diana?
David, anybody?
Am I it? We have.
You might be. I don't see I don't see Marion.
Oh, Steve's there. I
Marion.
guess we've decided to postpone the book giveaway until springtime. We kind of concluded that as a group a few days ago, that we'll just wait until things clear up and kids start coming back to school on a regular basis. I think that's the only thing we have going on our agenda right now. So.
Okay. All right. Greg or Sue, would you like to give an update on the completion of your foundation online training that you did?
Greg and I?
Yeah.
It was, honestly, it was fantastic. It was chock full of information, plus they sent us handouts, plus we have people that we can contact any time of day or night. And it was so much easier than having to have to travel to Buffalo or Grand Island or Niagara Falls and do all of this fall draw every year. It's easy, easy, easy. And we learned a lot about foundations. Thank you.
So it's about 6 hours of training.
Yep.
Over 3 weeks, 3 Saturdays.
Yep.
And they learn. Now we are, once I send that paper in,
Yep.
Signed, we are capable of doing district and global level grants with Rotary. Okay. Thank you for doing that work.
You bet.
They were kind of like Nazis about making sure you could attend all three, I'll tell you. So I'm so grateful for the two of you.
They checked you in at the beginning and they checked you out before it ended, so you couldn't skip out.
Yeah.
Yep. Wonderful. Sue, I also want to thank you for the 3 articles that you managed somehow to get into the newspaper over the weekend. It was fantastic to turn the pages and keep seeing our Rotary Club mentioned.
And thank you very
Thank
much
you.
to my partner in crime, David, who wrote the story about the books in the laundromat. Thank you, David. It was wonderful. I just facilitated it.
All right. Any other announcements for the good of the organization? Sherry has put a link, I think it's Sherry's put a link in for donations for your Happy Bucks and for weekly donations you'd like to make to the club. If you want to use that, that's in the chat. And anyone like to give a Happy Buck?
I do.
Okay, Sue.
I have $5 for Vicki McGraw. She made my Thanksgiving absolutely wonderful. We had 3 guests. We had 12-pound turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, green beans, sweet potatoes, and 2 pies, and the most wonderful homemade rolls. Spectacular.
Good for you. Thank you, Vicki.
This is Vince. I want to see her
Yep.
$5 and throw in another $5 for the same story. But I'm not going to say where I was or my wife. But any rate, it was awesome. Yay, Vicki.
Fantastic. Anyone else have a Happy Buck?
I'll give a happy buck.
I have a happy buck.
All right, Becky, then Mike, then Greg. Go, Becky.
Okay. I'm just going to give $1 to Vince Horgan for his good article in the paper over the weekend about the
Yes.
county.
Mike?
Thank you.
Last week, I gave a happy buck because the Chautauqua Leadership Network gave its Volunteer Leader of the Year award to my wife, Kathy, this year. I overlooked something I meant to also announce and remind you of. You may not be aware, but Katie Young, who's married to our own Kirk Young, is the coordinator of the Chautauqua Leadership Network. And she's been working on that not long after they moved to the area, and she does a great job with that organization. And so I meant to mention her last week and I failed to do that, so I'm putting her out there this week, and that's my happy buck.
Thank you, Mike. Greg?
My happy buck is 3/4 cup of mashed potatoes and a genuine nice helping of turkey gravy. Only has 132 calories.
Good for you. Any other Happy Buck?
Oh, I have some more. I have
All
one.
right.
Amy
Get
Roller.
out of my wallet.
Stop it. Amy Roller and the United Way, wonderful job in bagging groceries and getting contributions at Wegmans. It was so much fun. I contributed every time I was there. And to Marion Beckrink, oh, what a wonderful job the Jackson Center did with the speech, Robert Jackson's opening speech. It was riveting. I listened to the
Thank
whole
you.
thing over and over. It was so much,
Wow.
I want to say so much fun. But it was just so enlightening. Thank you.
Oh,
And
thank you.
another one for your wonderful New Year's Eve fundraiser coming up. Great idea and good luck. It just sounds
Thank you.
wonderful.
It should be fun. Thank you. Thank you, Sue, doubly. And I actually have a happy buck, so that's a good segue to,
Yeah.
I have the pleasure of serving on the board for the Humane Society, and I'm so happy to see them here today, taking care of the animals in our community, a hidden gem. So I have to give a shout out to them. Fantastic people, Brian and Kelly. So that's my happy buck today.
Thank you, Marion.
Sure.
Any other happy bucks? All right.
Yes, how
not
about one
here
from
now.
here?
Oh, wait, there's one.
Oh, go ahead, David.
We have to give a happy book because we adopted 2 kittens for our downstairs tenant through the Humane Society, Sam and Jack, little tuxedos.
That's great to
Fantastic.
hear.
Any more happy bucks? All right, Becky, take it away.
All right. I just saw a little cat going across Brian Papalia's face there a couple minutes ago. But as Joni has said, he's the partnership director of the County Humane Society. He's been at the Humane Society since June 2017, and he's proud to be part of a dedicated team of people that works hard to see that the pets of Chautauqua County receive the love and care needed to get them into loving homes. Brian's role at the Humane Society includes creating and nurturing partnerships with donors and local businesses to ensure that the shelter can continue its essential services. Some of you may know Brian from his 26 plus years work with the Media One radio group. He delivered the morning news for nearly 15 years and currently hosts the More Music Morning on Rock 103. He didn't say to me in his bio, but I believe he served a lot of years as managers too of all the stations, right, Brian?
3. 3
He's
years.
a 3 years? Oh,
Yeah, 3 years.
He used to record my radio ads and he was very, very wonderful. A lifelong resident of Jamestown, he shares a home with his wife, Rosie, and his daughters, Alyssa and Erica, who both attend Jamestown High School. Their household has its fair share of pets, with 2 cats, a parakeet, a corn snake, and a bunny. Brian also enjoys helping feed and bring in horses at Butternut Brook Stables, where his wife and daughter both take horse riding lessons. And because I'm not at work and I don't have a printer, he is going to introduce Kelly Roberts. And we're really glad to have both of you here today. Thank you. Brian?
Thank you, Becky. Thanks, Becky. So Kelly Roberts is our executive director here at CCHS. She took over the role in January 2017 and has been instrumental in creating programs that are helping to save more lives, like our Working Hats Hero program and new FIV and FELV adoption programs. She's also steered the organization in the direction of helping pets in homes where a hand is needed so they could stay there. This has been done through our low-cost public spay-neuter clinic, healthy pet clinics, and expansion of our pet pantry. So Kelly's a Falconer native who now lives in Jamestown and shares her home with a dog, Larkin, and her walking buddy, her cat, Jam, and currently also a pair of foster kittens. In her spare time, Kelly likes to knit, and today is a very good day for her because the Bills won yesterday. She is a huge Bills fan. So that's my introduction for Kelly.
Thanks, Brian.
So what we've got is we've kind of got a little step-by-step plan here, what we're going to talk about. First, we're going to talk about adoption and intake of animals, and that is something I'm going to let Kelly speak on.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having us in today. Nice way to kind of break up the routine a little bit. Too bad we can't be in person, but I think we're all getting used to this way of meeting, and it's better than not meeting at all, I guess. And I'm glad to be able to see everybody's faces. I didn't know what it was going to be like when we got on here, so it's nice to be able to see everyone, a lot of whom I recognize. As Brian said, we'd like to start off by talking about adoptions a little bit today and the way we've been impacted by COVID. Back in March, as everybody might know, we were considered an essential business, so that we have stayed open through it all. It's definitely been different, a lot of highs and lows, and a lot of adjustments to make, as there has been for everybody. With my fantastic staff here through it all, like Brian said, we've really maintained our level of care to the animals that we have here. And in addition, we've been able to grow some new programming, which has been fantastic. The main way that we've been different when it comes to visitors to the CCHS is that everything is by appointment now. And we've maintained that even if as some of the restrictions have lightened up. For anybody who's been here, and it's probably a lot of you have been to our facility, it's not that big inside. And we have like our dog hallway in the back is so narrow that it's really hard to do social distancing. So we've decided to continue throughout to do adoptions and surrender of animals by appointment only. So we got our animal population very low at the beginning of COVID. Our foster program has really expanded through COVID, and we hope to maintain that into the future indefinitely. But for folks who are looking to surrender or adopt, we're doing those strictly by appointment now. And that has impacted our numbers. We project by the end of the year, we'll do approximately half of the adoptions that we had expected to do this year, you know, back when we were budgeting those types of things at the beginning of 2020. So, you know, obviously that's disappointing to us. We always like to help as many animals as we can, but I think given the circumstances, that's not too bad either. I think that one of the ways that we're going to be able to grow our adoption program, and we've already started that a little bit, that's new to us, and I'm going to hand this off to Brian here, is that we have a new location at the Chautauqua Mall.
Yes, we do. We have partnered with the Chautauqua Mall for the last, since like spring of 2017, and we've had a number of events there, and it's always been well received by the public. We've seen nearly 100 animals go home through our partnership with the mall. And what we've experienced new in 2020 is when things got rolling again with the mall opening back up, is they've donated a space where we are able to hold adoption events whenever we need to or want to. We just had one this past weekend. We're very happy to see between Friday and Saturday, nearly little buddy here, nearly 800 people come through. Hey, that's my laptop, not a treat. That's why Kelly's in her office. But yeah, we had nearly 800 people come through. Something that was really exciting is we had 7 adoptions. And the adoptions were all special. There were adoptions of cats that came from a case you may have read about in the news from Dunkirk, where there were 83 cats that were rescued from an apartment. There were some of those cats that were adopted over the weekend that had been here for a while. Realistically, they would have probably not been looked at here for a while anyway. We had some cats that have that are FIV positive and FELV positive, which is a program I was talking about that Kelly will be referring to and telling you more about in a little bit. Some of those cats went home. So it was just a great experience. And we are, Kelly doesn't know this because it was just decided a few minutes ago as I was walking through the hall, but our next event will be this Friday from 4 to 7. And it's our space right across from Bath and Body Works. And we're hoping to get some more of these and maybe some dogs home in that time frame. So it's just something we're very grateful for, because to have that kind of opportunity, especially through the holidays, and this will actually go on through at least October of 2021. It's, you know, with the shelter closed, aside from appointment adoptions, you know, this is a chance for people to come in, connect with pets, and take them home. And so we're excited to see, you know, this help the adoption numbers as they've been affected by COVID this year. So that is all I've got to say about that. And now to talk more about a couple of our programs, including the FIV and FELV, I will hand it back to Kelly.
Okay. It wasn't since COVID, but several months ago, we started adopting out FIV positive cats. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. Excuse me. It is a disease in cats that's not curable, although a lot of them live very long and healthy lives with it, and they can only transmit it through biting of another cat. It's similar to, it's an immunosuppressive type disease. And over the years in sheltering, with changes that have been made, more and more shelters had started adopting those kitties out. And then as time went on, and you know, we're always looking for ways to save more lives. And not just us, but animal sheltering in general has changed so much in the last 10 years or so. So we had decided a few months ago to go ahead and start adopting out the FIV positive cats. And then more recently, you know, we were encouraging people who already have cats of their own at home to go ahead and adopt an FIV positive cat. There's really no reason not to. but we had them segregated in our own shelter. And we thought, well, that doesn't really send the right message. So a little bit before COVID, we started housing those kitties with our non-FIV positive cats. And as Brian said, one of those guys even went home from the mall over the weekend. So that's really exciting. Brand new, and actually we just met about it a couple weeks ago, we've also started adopting out feline leukemia positive cats. And that's a virus. It's not actually leukemia. I'm not sure why the name is what it is. But again, through sheltering, changes in procedures, veterinarians and shelters learning more about these diseases and transmissions and the health and welfare of the cats who have these. This is the newest one that we're just starting now, feline leukemia cats. As it happened, we got a little bit of a flood of feline leukemia kitties that came in all at once. So that really made us get on our horse and decide we're not going to euthanize these cats, that as long as they are healthy and happy, we're going to look to adopt them into homes. So there are some restrictions for feline leukemia positive adoptions, which if anybody is interested or when they are, there's a lot of education involved in that. But we feel really good that this is, again, another way that we can reduce the euthanasia rates and adopt healthy and happy kitties into homes. Another program that we started since the pandemic is our Working Cat Heroes program. And if any of you have been over to our website, you'll see we have like a superhero kitty that Brian created. He's a bit of a cartoon. He's our character who represents our Working Cat Hero program. And these are cats who don't happily live in a shelter and probably would not happily live in your home. We do not take in feral cats per se, which really are like wild animals. But sometimes we do end up with one here, one way or another. We also get cats in who maybe have litter box issues, or they just are not happy around people. So the Working Cat Heroes program gives those kitties a special chance to go home under different circumstances. And they might live in a stable or a winery, or someone has a workshop, garage, that type of setting rather than being in a house. We have adopted, and I'm not sure, Brian, if you know this number, I didn't have a chance to look it up, but we only started this program about 6 weeks ago, and we've already adopted out somewhere around 10 cats, I think.
I want to say we're at either 12 or 15. Yeah, it's really picked up fast.
Through the Dunkirk kitty, the hoarding case that Brian alluded to earlier, we got quite a few cats in through that who were not really good candidates for living in your average home. So some of them were able to take advantage of this program, as well as some other cats who have either come in recently or had been with us for a while. But again, it was hard to find the right home for them. Once we started this program, they found a home quickly. So that really feels good. And again, it's just another way that we can save more lives through programming, that we are fitting the programs towards the animals that come to us and how to make them be able to get out of the shelter and into a setting where they're happy. These kitties like being outside, like being mousers and that type of thing. So it's really a win-win. They don't have to stay in the shelter waiting for an indoor home, and they're able to get out and, being a working cat, serve a purpose for the new home that they go to as well. And a couple of our other programs, Brian's going to talk about our expanded pet pantry and our healthy pet clinics for the public.
Yep, something that has been one of our goals here at CCHS is to not only help pets that don't have homes, but to help pets that are in homes where they might need a hand up stay there so they don't end up here. And the pandemic, a lot of the stuff, actually both of these programs took place prior to the pandemic, but I think, the pandemic makes them more essential than ever. The first being the pet pantry that we've had, which I'm not sure how long we've had our pet pantry here at CCHS. It was before me for sure. That was a cattail in a way. I've got a little buddy here. But so far, we've teamed up with the Salvation Army. This happened in September of 2019. And this year, from December on, or from January on, we have, between the shelter and the Salvation Army, handed out over 13,000 pounds of pet food to pets in need. And this is not just pets in homes that need help, but this is to homes where they might be feeding like a colony of cats or some outdoor cats, that sort of thing. So it's helping a lot of different pets in the area. But out of that 13,000 pounds, nearly 10,000 pounds of that food has been distributed through the expanded shelter over at the Salvation Army. And that's something that with our location being a little out of the way for folks that might be, in need, it's a little harder for them to get over here. So working with Liz and the folks over there has made it so it's more convenient and easier for those people to get to that food. Something else we've done with the Pet Pantry this year is we've started to work with, we work with the Outpour Project in Dunkirk, and we've helped out a little bit in the North County in November, and that's kind of a new relationship. So we're using that to, just help the community, let them know we're here as more than just an animal shelter. We're here to help every animal in the county. The other thing is healthy pet clinics. These began in 2018. We were actually in 2019, we got to the point where we're having 2 a month from March until October. And it kind of walks the same line, helping folks that may not have access to veterinary care. We are offering a basic vet checkup. And if somebody may have run across something where we could help them with a little bit, say some antibiotics or something like that, we would definitely help them in that respect. We were seeing about 500 animals each year from 2018 and 2019. This year, of course, we weren't able to hold the clinics because of COVID, but as far as I know, we are doing them again when the world allows us to. I think that's kind of, and it's just something that we've seen a tremendous, need for, and the response has proven that. So just a couple of the ways that we've been working to help all the pets of Chautauqua County. So
one thing I would just like to add about the pet pantries, we do get a fair amount of food donated through Purina. We got a grant this year that we have purchased some food, but what's really been great to see is how many people just come by and drop off a bag of food here. We tell everybody, because again, they can't walk in. We watch both of the main doors that we use all the time. We say, just drop it off. Everybody knows to keep an eye out. And we've gotten in an incredible number of donations of food this year, just people dropping off a bag when they were going by or something.
And something too is I also want to point out with the Healthy Pet Clinic, St. Luke's Church has been they've been important in that role as being the host of our South County clinics. In North County, it was the Pet Pantry. And St. Luke's has been helpful, and those people over there and Father Luke have been so great with so many initiatives that we've been working with. We may actually have one coming up again soon for a Pet Pantry giveaway. So these relationships in the community are just so helpful to what we do, and it's great to work with them. And yeah, it's a neat atmosphere. We're stronger when we come together. And one of the things I was thinking about, a story about the Pet Pantry, and then we'll move on to another topic here, was the first, not Pet Pantry, I'm sorry, the Healthy Pet Clinics. The first Healthy Pet Clinic, we were wrapping up, and it was a very successful day. There was a lot of questions about how things might work. And there was one lady, she was so happy she was able to get that vet care. She grabbed her broom. We were cleaning up, and she was an elderly lady. She grabbed her broom, and I said, "You don't have to do that." So, I kind of tried to take the broom from her, and she said, "No." She goes, "I'm so grateful." She goes, "I need to do something." And I really, insisted. I'm like, "You really don't have to do this." And she helped sweep up because she was just so happy that she was able to get that care for her pet. So that stuck with me because that was such a neat story about that. So what we're going to talk about next is some of the services we offer to the community. What happens here? The cat just changed my screen. Some of the things that happen inside this building. So I will have Kelly talk about our spay neuter services and housing and returning lost pets.
Our low-cost clinic for the public has really been impacted by COVID. We did have to close it down for a brief period of time. As all of you probably know, there were so many different orders coming down from the state. It was really hard to keep up, and a lot of them were not very specific. So, in talking with other shelters in the state, you know, on what we could do and couldn't do, or should or shouldn't do. We did close our clinic down for a little bit, but then as time went on and our doctors were willing, we did go ahead and open up again. We are restricted by space. Again, if anybody has been over here and seen our surgery area, it's not really very big. Prior to COVID, we did about 3,100 spay-neuter surgeries total in 2019 through that little clinic, which is pretty amazing. But this year we're going to be way down, and we are mostly only able to do cats now, especially for the public. We can only do cats because there's many more, you know, dogs come in all sizes. You need people available to be able to lift those dogs or restrain them if they're not happy about being here and that type of thing. So we are limited right now what we can do. We are currently at 3 days a week. We're doing our low cost clinic for the public. Dr. Mark, who's been with us for a long time, however, he's going to become a snowbird and go south here in about a month. So we're going to lose him. So we're going to be back to 2 days a week on low cost surgery. But he'll be back in the spring. He already sounds like he's anxious to get back, and he hasn't even left yet. So we hope again next year, as things get a little bit more back to normal, we can start to pick that up again. Really, that's the part of what we do that I feel the most pressure about. We know the demand is so great out there, the cat overpopulation of community cats who are not owned. That is so great out there, and we're working all the time on how to better meet that need, and we're just not where we want to be with that yet, but we are working on some different initiatives to try to make that happen, including we have a new community cat fund that's going to be able to help us cover the cost of spay-neuter surgery for some of those kitties who are out there. Probably someone is feeding them and taking care of them, but you know, the cost of the spay-neuter surgery is something, especially if someone's caring for multiple cats, it isn't easy for somebody to just pick up because a cat showed up in their yard. So we have our new community cat fund that we're going to be able to fund some more of those surgeries in years to come. And we are looking for ways to grow that fund to make sure that it continues to be there for people who need it. One of the services Brian put on the list, because we don't really talk about it very often and people aren't aware of it probably very much, but we do stray holding here for dogs. We have contracts with 30 municipalities in the county. So, you know, they're all small, but that really adds up. And we have a room here with a key that animal control officers can get access to, and they can drop off. They only do stray holding for dogs, not for cats. But they can drop off a dog any hour of the day or night, and then we bring that animal in, make sure that it's cared for, put it on a stray hold to give time for the owner to come forward. And then if they do not, or they're not able to take their pet back, then ultimately they would end up becoming ours and they would be adopted through CCHS. Where we've run into a little bit of a bind with holding services during COVID is we also do holding for court cases. And we've had several of those. And as everybody probably knows, for I think it was about 6 or 8 weeks early in COVID, the court systems were not working either. And then they got all backlogged. So for dogs and the space that we have available, that ended up being really full with dogs who are on court cases for quite a period of time. And that's finally starting to loosen up a little bit right now. But we do get a lot of calls. People want us to investigate possible animal abandonment or cruelty or neglect. And I think it was probably about 5 years ago, it was shortly before I came, CCHS decided not to have an officer here anymore. So we rely on the local police agencies to actually do the field work, but we do the holding, medical care, and all that end of it here at CCHS. It just so happens that due to COVID, we got a little bit bogged down with that this time. But those are a couple of services that we take care of on a routine basis that a lot of people, I think, in the community are not aware of if they're not directly involved. Brian, did you have a couple last things you were going to speak about?
Yeah, just real quickly, one of the services I wanted to highlight was something that people may not be aware of is we do offer behavior services to people that might be having trouble, with their dog or cat in their home. And rather than having them just go to that extreme of needing to turn them over to us, we have folks available where they can check in and talk with our people, and we can help work with them and maybe help keep that dog or cat in the home. So that just goes back to that whole, we'd rather keep them home than have them come here. Then one other thing real quick before we get to the Q&A session is we have a new program that started this year, is born out of the coronavirus. It's called Animal Ally Business Class. And it's a program that we recognize that a lot of businesses, are being hit by COVID and are maybe trying to reach new people, new audiences. In this Animal Ally Business Class program is something where we're offering a lot of visibility, a lot of different options to get your business out there through our social media, website, some of the traditional media we do, and it would be tied to us, and it opens your business up to that audience. And that's something that I won't talk a lot about right now, but if you are interested, you have a business, you can contact me here at the shelter. You can call or you can message through Facebook, because I answer all those messages, most of those messages as well. So hopefully that's something that some of you are interested in. I want to also point out, Marion had mentioned Marion Beckering on our board. Thank you, Marion, for all of you and the rest of the board members do to make the organization as successful as it is. And I will wrap with that. And if you have any questions, the answers, or you have the questions, I'll have the answers. And Kelly will have the answers. We can do that.
Anyone have a question?
Question, with the holiday season coming up, must have been 20 years ago now, some friends gave my wife a gift certificate for a puppy, which really was great, great animal we got. But I think they had paid about $75 for that, and guaranteed that puppy would be healthy with all of its shots and spayed or neutered. Is there a program like that still around? The holiday season's coming up, and I'm sure there's some people who need puppies.
We do have gift certificates available. The way that puppies are coming in, I wouldn't make them animal specific right now, because that wait could be a little while. But yes, we do have the gift certificates, and they can be used for adoptions. And those are something, as far as denominations and that sort of thing, it can be done just, if you want to do a $50 gift certificate, or if you want to get to a specific animal, because some of the adoption fees are different for different animals. You could definitely do that as well. Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Another question? Okay. Go, Sue.
My daughter adopted a Chihuahua that has psychological issues. Is there a cost involved in trying to get to the bottom of his issues?
Well, if they want to give a call and speak with someone in our behavior department, there would not be a charge for that. Of course, we always appreciate any donations. We do work with a couple of the area trainers and people who knows more about dog behavior and things that we can also refer to, and they're their own small business. So that would all be set up through them.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to say thank you to all the work you do. We've adopted 3 dogs over the last 5 years, and they've all been a delight. Doug is a special friend of us. He looks out for us, and he has a dog that he knows we'd like, and we always do. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Kelly, for coming to our meeting today. A donation will be made in your honor to the Polio Plus Fund, which is working at inoculating children across the world to eradicate polio. And we're getting closer and closer. Pandemic hasn't helped too much, but last check, I think polio is only in 2 countries. So we're doing pretty well. Until your name will go on the list of people who have donated toward that cause.
Awesome.
Thank you
Very
for your
nice.
time. Thank you, everyone. Next week, we will have a special meeting where we will welcome 2 new members. District Governor Frank Adamson will be joining us again. The 2 new members are Marie Kinberg and Robert Anderson. And then we have a surprise or 2. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the a cappella or the magical singers from JHS. They aren't going to be able to join us next week, but their new director, can you imagine taking the job over this year? She is putting together a virtual mini concert that we will be able to watch eventually, hopefully before Christmas. So that will pop in at some point. So we're pretty happy about that. And I'll give you more information as that comes along. So remember, the theme this year is that Rotary opens opportunities. So what opportunities are you going to see this week where you can make the world a better place? Thank you, everyone. Have a great week. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Stay on, Greg.
Yep, will do. That was a nice presentation, Joni.
Yeah. Okay, so I just hit share screen. When I make you host, you can do this. So
Can I just do it the way my little thing says here by not sharing, not becoming the host?
You can't share the screen if you're not the host.
Okay, can I just see if it will work?
Yes, and so when I was just saying, when I hit share screen, there's one that's a little box at the bottom that comes up that says share computer sound. That's the one
Okay,
you
yes.
definitely have to click on. Okay,
Yeah,
that's all I wanted. Just wanted to figure out
Okay,
what that
that's on my
was.
little list of instructions here too. So here we go. And I know it's just going to be perfect.
All right, I'm going to make you host. Well,
No,
hold on,
I
I
do
got to
not
get
want to
this.
be I do not want to be the host yet.
I don't know.
Okay, so
nobody.
here we go.
Okay. I don't think
Okay.
I'm going to see it.
Now you get to make me host because I got shut down already.
Okay, well, for some reason
You
I
have to
can't
make me
get
host.
this to. Yeah, I'm trying to get there. Okay.
Okay.
Make host. There we go.
Okay. Okay, now it says okay. Can you see her?
No, I'm not seeing anything. Just
Okay.
it says Greg
So open this
iPad.
account. When you're ready to play the share, click the share screen. Now go back again. This is so much fun.
Are there instructions out there on how to do this on an iPad?
Yeah, it's I'm doing it. I should be able to do this on anything here. I'm going to start from the beginning one more time.
Okay.
Okay, let's try again.
Oh, I see you.
Yeah, I'm back again. That's not necessarily good. Okay, so
Well,
when you're
have
ready
you
to play
got
the video.
Have you got the video playing on your iPad?
Yes, I have, it's in the background and I'm going to do what it told me to do. Hang on a second. Okay.
I
Go
hear
to the
music.
video. Only if that's just shit. And I can't move that fast. Oh, I'm not having a lot
Do you
of
have an
fun. So
Do you have an iPhone?
let me get rid of this again. Let's. Okay, so I'm back again. I haven't been able to do it yet.
I'm wondering if it would work on an iPhone.
I'm on an iPad, so that'd be an iPhone, iPad would be the same. I'm going to try this one more time, then I'll just Google how to do it again. I mean, it should be the same thing as any of your speakers showing a slide. It should be exactly the
I
same.
would think.
So